Yeah, we're live. Episode, what is this, 78? 78, This Life in Tech. I'm Jason.
And I'm Dan.
Another glorious Sunday morning, man.
Every day I wake up, I hear the demons scream my name.
Not this fucker again. Oh, man. Hey, in honor of the last day of the Tour de France today, today's the 21st stage. They ride into Paris. We were goofing around yesterday morning, and Lily wanted to ride her little bike, and Marcia wanted to jog, and I needed to exercise. So I'm like, I'll go for a bike ride outside because it's been raining and shit. So I've been riding inside on my trainer.
Right.
And it was beautiful yesterday. So I went for a little ride. I was just going to go around the block, and I got a little bored, and I'm like, I'm just going to go for a long ride. So I go on this long ride, and I run into a group. It happens sometimes, but I hadn't met anybody here yet. Although I know this is the Winston-Salem is the site of the U.S. national cycling team. So like the national championships and stuff have been here. It's actually pretty progressive for cycling. So I run into this group, and they're on some nice bikes. So I know it at least they've spent money on the hobby. I'm like, I'll just tag onto these guys and see where we go. And I'm riding in the back, and I don't know, man. I don't know where they were at in their workout. I don't know what their plan was, but they were just going a little too slow for me. There were too many gaps in between the riders. So you're losing your drafting when there's a gap, right? So I decide to pass them, and I go on. Long story short, man, I get down the road, and I'm like, oh, man, I think I missed a turn. Like I've gone too far. I need to turn around and go back. So I turn around and go back, and I happen to catch up to another guy, and I don't know if he was part of this group or something else, but I catch him and I pass him, and I end up, long story shorter, going up this giant hill, man, which is tiring. And I've never been this way before, but I work my way back, and I'm almost home, and the biggest hornet I have ever seen in my life lands on me and stings the ever living shit out of me in the leg. And it hurt, dude. It hurt so bad.
Oh, yeah.
This thing was so big. It landed on my right knee. This thing was so big when I felt like something, I don't know, it hurt, man. And I looked down, and there's this giant horn on me. And it's so big, I can see the hate in its eyes. Like it's angry. It's not happy that it landed on me. I must have like just collided with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. Horrible. I still made it home though.
That's good. So what place is Lance Armstrong in right now in the Tour de France?
He'll always be first in my book, man. The 7th time. You know, listen, man, he does a podcast now where they break down every stage, and he has dudes from his postal team come on. Yeah. It's fabulous, man. Not only is it well produced, because of course the guy's not poor, but they really break down. So as an amateur, like a complete hobbyist, for me, learning how to ride in a group and learning, not that I've ever done the kind of racing that he did, but listening to him describe the team tactics, his thoughts as a race leader, because, you know, it's a team of now there's, I think, 8 guys. They change the number of guys on a team every so often. Everybody's working for that one guy. I mean, right? So if you're the leader of the team, you don't go back and get the water bottles. You send they're called domestiques. You send him back to get your fucking granola bars. And he has to catch all the way back up and give them to you, right? So this goes on for 21 days. And to listen to him describe his experiences, the tactics, the thoughts, it's actually really interesting, man. I think.
Yeah, sounds pretty interesting.
Because listen, I've done a lot of sports. I've watched a lot of sports. We talk about a lot of sports. I don't know of a sport that's harder.
Oh, I mean, you know, the physical grueling of it.
Yeah. I mean, I saw a dude this week, man. They were in the mountains. The last week is always the real mountains. And this guy was flying down. And so when they go down the mountain, man, they get up 90 kilometers an hour. I mean, they go fucking fast. And this dude locked his back brake up, misjudged the cut on the turn, and hit a stone wall and flew right over it, man. And he was down there for like 5 minutes. And he got back up, got on his bike, and finished. But then he had to drop out because he was hurt. Broke his kneecap.
Ooh.
Another guy the week before that going up a mountain. You know, going up the mountains like the Alps, the crowd is like really in, and they reach out and touch you, and dudes get punched and all kinds of crazy shit. And he was a race favorite. He was going up this mountain, and he was towards the front, so he could have won that day. And some dude's camera strap caught his handlebars and ripped his bike out from underneath him. He fell and broke a vertebrae.
Dude, if that happened to me, I would get up and I would beat that person with my bike.
You know what that guy did? He got up, got on his bike, and finished the race, and came in, I think, fourth. But he had to drop out. I mean, that's just how hard these dudes are.
Well, yeah, but I would have beat the guy first, and then
yeah, it's insanity, man. It's insanity.
Speaking of insanity,
yeah,
our boy Connor.
Oh man,
no criminal record. I think we got to go back in time. I'm pretty sure I said he ain't gonna do nothing.
That's right. And now Khabib's running his mouth.
Yep.
Because I don't know if you know this, but there was a UFC last night.
Some fight night or something like that. All right. I heard about it. I don't really care.
I watched some of the clips this morning. I'm like, okay.
I'll watch John Jones again when he comes in to beat DC for the third time, and he'll take the heavyweight championship from him. And then John Jones needs to go back. This is what's interesting. How come they haven't stripped DC of one of the titles?
That's right. That's right. Oh, it's a completely valid point. It's the exact same situation.
Yeah.
And see, the thing is
in reality, DC never won the light heavyweight title. So
see, you can't really strip something that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Well, and what's interesting to me is it's not even been like a discussion, man. Like I've not heard anybody be like, well, if this guy wins, he's going to have to pick one. Because that started immediately with Connor.
Yeah. So, with that, Khabib is going to get crushed.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's just going to get crushed. I mean,
he's going to get hit with that left hand touch of death. It's going to be over, man.
Khabib couldn't even, he looked horrible against a dude that was ranked 11th on 2 days' notice, and Khabib couldn't do anything. I mean, here's the thing. So, all right, DC, when he fought Anderson Silva. Now, even though I thought was a horrible fight, from DC's perspective, is completely the right way to go. Because if he stood with Anderson was going to light him up like a Christmas tree. So he just took him down and ground and pounded him until it was done. If Khabib's wrestling is so good, I'm telling you, that bear was on the take. He gave him some picnic baskets, and the bear rolled over on him.
By the way, real quick, I thought about that this week because we're talking about taking a camping trip soon. Yeah. And Jellystone Park is here in North Carolina.
Yeah, there's also one here. I just took the kids to the one here, so we were there, the past 2 days.
And they got a big sign in the front with like Yogi and whatever Boo Boo or whatever his name was.
Yeah. We did a cabin. It was my first time ever doing this. Just a cabin. There's like no running water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. But so anyway, see, and the blueprint's already been laid for beating Connor because it's happened twice now. Nate Diaz did it, and Mayweather did it. You just tire him out. You just gotta stay composed, stay relaxed. Don't try to rush him because Aldo fucked up doing that. Don't try to box with him, and you just wear him out. And you get to this third round. He clearly tires, man, and he tires because he punches a lot and he moves a lot. It's tiring. And genetically, he just doesn't have a huge gas tank like, for instance, the Diaz brothers do. They don't seem to ever really get tired.
No.
They're genetically different.
Yep. But I don't think Khabib can do that.
I don't think so either. Man. I don't think, not only do I think he can't do it, like skill-wise can't do it, but I don't think he can stay composed for that long.
No, I mean, he was tired by the third round against a dude that should not even been fought. Shouldn't even have been a sanctioned fight.
Well, and this is another thing too, and you can't discount this, man, because Connor's a master of it. Do you remember when he fought Dennis Seaver and he called him a Nazi?
Yeah.
Right? And Dennis Seaver was angry about that, but he stayed pretty calm. I think if he calls Khabib a terrorist, because he will, or a camel fucker or something. Come on, it's going to come out of his mouth.
I would do it.
Of course. I don't know that I would, but it certainly would cross my mind.
Oh, no, I would do it.
Yeah. I don't know under those conditions.
I would literally go, you're such much of a terrorist that Putin didn't even invite you to the World Cup. He invited me.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
didn't even want to be seen with you. Your own president of your own country was like, "Who are you?"
Well, okay, so put yourself in his shoes too, man. I mean, what are you gonna do? Become the national hero and supplant Fedor Emelianenko? Because he's the Russian hero. He's the close ally of Putin.
Yeah. Well, but you got to have someone that's going to take the place because Fedor is just old.
Oh, I ain't gonna be his crazy brother. Jesus Christ, Alex. Oh God, man. Who arguably is the better of the two? Actually, he's younger, he's faster, he's bigger, but he's a hell of a lot crazier.
Yeah, probably.
Well, I mean,
But
he spent time in prison, and
Russian prison.
yeah, I mean, if you're going to Russian prison, dude, you didn't get caught jaywalking. You know what I mean?
There's no white collar criminals there.
No, no, no. You've done something that even the criminals that are running the joint can't like defend you against.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I think getting back that Connor's gonna hurt him.
Yeah,
And good, because I don't like the cat anyway. He's a fraud, as far as I'm concerned. He didn't wrestle no bear.
yes, that bear was sleepy.
The bear, and someone had the bear on a chain. At least when John Jones went after that tiger, there was nothing on that tiger. Did you see that?
Yeah, dude. Growing up, we had a little fair every summer. It was called First Town Days, and it was a butted up against the Italian festival. So the Italian festival was a week-long festival in the city square to celebrate Italian culture, so forth and so on. And then like a week or two after that, they had First Town Days, which celebrated the founding of the city, which is the county seat. And man, they used to have bear wrestling. And I remember being a little kid watching this dude wrestle this giant fucking bear. I don't know if it was a brown bear or a grizzly. I don't know what it was because I was like 10 and this thing was giant.
Yeah, yeah.
And it knocked this dude down and got him like in doggy style position and just started like munching his ass and like ripping through his jeans. And I'll never forget that. And I'm like, is that what this is about? Because man, this doesn't seem right to me. Like I'm all down for wrestling, like wrestling straight, because folk wrestling was big where I lived. Like it's big where you're going today.
Yeah.
It's big where you're at now, actually, all the way back to Abe Lincoln. But man, yeah, wrestling bears. Come on, man. They put some tranks and a peanut butter and jelly and fed it to that thing, dude. Don't kid yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, the bear was on the take.
Speaking of the take, I guess we're just going to talk about this today. Do you remember from Pride, there was a huge, I think he fought middleweight, Takanori Gomi.
Yeah.
He fought, oh man, I don't know. I can't remember the dude's name he fought last night. Oh, do you remember Melvin Gillard?
Yeah.
Okay, he fought Melvin Gillard. If that fight wasn't fixed, I'm Japanese.
Who won?
Well, Melvin Gillard had him. Like, I mean, he knocked Gomi out on his feet, it looked like. Okay. And then all of a sudden, Gomi threw like some pity pat shots and Melvin just like went and just fell down. Like,
hey, I hope he got paid well for it.
hey, now we can say that with some basis beyond just anecdotal speculation, because in Pride, it's well known that not only was it in your contract that you had to take steroids, that lots of people were taking fixed fights.
Sure.
I mean, well, and that comes from sumo because the Yakuza are not really screwing around.
No. Not at all.
Speaking of screwing around, man, you want to talk about some future ideas of tech? I have this new idea I wanted to throw out there for everybody. So I'm getting ready to move into my new office, right? Hopefully I'll finish. I got to clean the winter. What's that?
Before the winter, because you've been hearing about this for like 2 months.
I feel like it. I feel like it might be Christmas by the time I get in there, man. Well, here's something else I didn't count on, by the way. I need a dehumidifier. Or I'm hoping that my AC that I'm going to put in there is going to naturally dehumidify the air enough, because if not, I'm going to have to get a separate dehumidifier because, man, it is humid here. I went in there this morning, man, and there's condensation on my windows. Anyway, so it's about done. The drywall's all done finally. The sander came yesterday. I got to clean up before I can paint. But I got to wait on the inspector anyway, so I shouldn't paint, but whatever, man. It doesn't matter. I got my flooring, my paint, everything's done. I'm ready to go. And I'm thinking about this, and I'm like, man, you know what? I really am looking forward to a quiet distractionless space. And even like right now, my tower's on and I can hear those fans, and it's kind of bugging me. And it's been bugging me. And the more I think about it, the more it bugs me. So I thought, well, how can I get a like dead quiet system? I don't want any noise, right? Well, okay. So then you think, am I going to water cool? Well, you still need fans on the radiators, so that doesn't really get you anything. Maybe they don't have to spin as fast, so it doesn't produce as much noise, but it's still noise. And I thought to myself, well, hey, self, why don't we do a new experiment? Like you and I had both done like Linux for 30 days before. We've done different things. So here we go. So I think the part I need comes on Wednesday or Thursday this week. So let's say starting next weekend, I'm going to try and use my iPad Pro as my main computer, my main computing device, day in and day out for 30 days. And I'm going to do it. And I'm going to note what doesn't work, what works. And at the end of the 30 days, I'll provide a full report. I might provide a blow by blow, maybe week by week blog post.
You know, I could tell you the first thing that's not going to work.
What's that?
World of Warcraft.
Yeah. I'll tell you what else doesn't work right now very well.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
They really fucked it bad, man, with that pre-patch. Wow.
Really?
Dude, they really broke it bad. And so we'll talk about World of Warcraft real quick, because this tells you the future of the mentality of gamers, though, right? So when I originally got into World of Warcraft, I started playing when the game first came out. Well, let's say 6 months after it came out, but in the first expansion. I played with a group of people that I worked with, and we played on a PvP server, which meant you could fight the opposite faction at any time.
Yep.
And that was a lot of fun, man. It was a lot of fun. And over the years, I've gotten away from that for a variety of reasons, most of which is I don't really play with people. I just play by myself. So anyway, in this new expansion, and starting with the pre-patch that came out a week ago, 2 weeks ago, Blizzard introduced what's called war mode. So there's no more separation. Like I think even Star Wars had this where you had a PvP server or just a PvE server, right?
Right.
Okay, so now there's no more realms like that. I mean, there's realms and they have names, but there's no more separation between PvP and PvE. What you have is war mode. So you can go into your capital city and in the UI just click an option and it turns on or off war mode. And when you turn it on, you're perma-flagged for PvP, and it's supposed to phase you onto a shard with only people that have that on. And if you turn it off, you go back to just a PvE shard, and you only see people that have that, right? So people that want to world PvP and gank and grief and all that shit, they're all by themselves now. So everybody should be happy. Except, I think Blizzard massively miscalculated the faction imbalance. So most people that want a PvP play a specific faction. I don't know why. I don't care why. It's true. And the realms themselves are massively imbalanced in terms of the ratio of this faction to that faction. So I'm thinking to myself, this is the perfect time to hop on to this max level rogue I have, because rogues are awesome at world PvP. And I'll turn on war mode and I'll go around. I'm just going to gank people for whatever, because why not? It's fun. Except the other faction doesn't have it on. Like I've seen like 3 people. So what the hell?
Well, this is what I don't get. It's supposed to be, a map. What is it? Whatever the MMORPG stands for. I can't think this morning. There should be no PvE. It's supposed to be like an alternate life. You want a PvE, then you better find some place out in the middle of nowhere and deal with it.
Yeah. Well, so they have this idea now that, so if you have a war mode on, and I think it's you kill 10 people in a row without dying, you get a debuff where everybody can see where you're at on the map, so they can come hunt you. Okay, that's cool. Except there's okay. So what's that?
Yeah, there's no one to hunt you.
There's nobody to go kill. I can't get 10 kills in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, so I killed a couple people yesterday morning, and okay, so what happens after you kill them 2 or 3 times? They log out. Well, I would too. Well, I mean, I wouldn't, you know what I mean? But you dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's nobody to kill. And then I don't know, this is strange too, man. They introduced this idea where there's like this little gyrocopter that comes over and drops a crate. Like that's what PUBG and Fortnite do. Anyway, man, whatever, dude. So back to the iPad. Yeah, it's not going to play World of Warcraft, and I don't know that I care.
This, now we know aliens existed, and they've come and they've taken over your body.
Well, look, man, it's not like I said I wasn't going to have my gaming tower with me. I'm just not going to use my main computing system.
Oh, loopholes.
Yeah, that's well. Hey, man. Hey, man. Well, because I'm interested. I'm interested to see how can this work. Because I don't have to screen share when I'm teaching a class anymore. I don't need that part of Adobe Connect.
Fine with that regard. I think at some point we're going to have, I mean, look at how much money is going into these pixels and how much money Microsoft is putting into the Surfaces. I think we're going to get to a point where people are carrying more around those type of devices. If Apple doesn't get off their butt and get a touch screen type device pretty quickly, I think it's going to be tough for them.
Yeah, I think we've said this before, but I cannot believe they have not added touchscreen to at least a MacBook Pro.
Yeah, because I've looked at the iPad Pro. For me, I'm just not looking to try and write a paper, even with that type of keyboard that comes with it. It's not fun for me. So, I'm not gonna try it.
No. So I don't have like the Apple branded keyboard. I have like a little Logitech case that's great. And when I have it on my little stand here, man, I use my G13 and it works awesome.
Yeah, but you still have do they have an app that's actually able to write with? Like, I'm not talking about that silly Microsoft Office in the Apple Store.
No, I don't use that piece of shit.
What are you going to use on your iPad?
All right, so check this out. So not only can you use Office 365, the web app version, if you wanted to, or Google Docs, not the apps. You could actually use the web apps if you wanted to, but I don't use those too often. What I've always had Scrivener, and that works great. But I actually have, I can't remember the name of it now. I have an interface to my GitHub, so I can actually have local Git repositories on the iPad Pro, and then push and pull back and forth to my GitHub. And then I have an app that lets me write just plain text. Or, I do a lot of stuff in Markdown, and then I use Pandoc to convert it. Now that's the piece I haven't figured out yet, how I'm going to convert from doc types. Because Pandoc is a command line interface. Right, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's an app or something that has it in there.
All right. We'll see.
So, I mean, dude, when I'm on a plane, I write on my iPad Pro.
Yeah, so you're not on a plane very often anymore.
Oh, well, I don't know, man. I did a lot of miles beginning of the year to May, actually. Not as much as I used to be. That's true. But I mean, it works. It works. Now, like I said, the problem I haven't really thought about yet, and I don't know if there's a solution to it. So this may be a reason why it's not doable for me, is converting between doc types. So like on my gaming computer, the system I'm on right now, my normal computing system, I don't really write in Microsoft Word anymore. I write in Markdown. I actually use Visual Studio Code to do that. I used to use Sublime Text, but fuck that shit. And then I just use Pandoc to convert it. Because like when I write those essays for the school, they want it in doc format. So I just convert it to doc and send it to them.
Those amateurs.
Hey, man, whatever, dude. Here's my invoice. Pay me. As long as that check shows up, I really don't care what format they want it in.
Yeah.
Whatever's easier for them, man. But, and I've been on this kick for plain text for a long time. And more, that's all I do. It's just so much easier too, man.
Yeah, I get that. I definitely get that.
And there's Overleaf. Jesus turned me on to Overleaf, which is like Google Docs but for LaTeX. And what's nice about it, man, is it also has a built-in, if you can have it in LaTeX mode, which is its default, which I've gotten more comfortable with over the time. But you can actually toggle it into rich text mode, which is kind of like Markdown, and you can just write that way. Now, I don't know if they have an app. It's a web app, but it has GitHub built into it, so you can actually use Git to sync your projects. So I don't know. We'll see.
Could be worse things that could happen, I guess.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too, I'm not quite certain how it's going to work is I'm very conditioned in how I tile my windows when I work. So like I'll have a PDF that I'm referencing tiled this way and I'll have my main doc tiled that way. I mean, obviously you're supposed to be able to do that now in iOS 11, right? I think what do they call it? Split or some shit, but I've never tried it.
I have zero desire to use iOS anything.
Now, I thought about switching over to like an Asus ZenBook.
Doing like a little Chromebook.
Yeah. Yeah. Or a ZenPad, which is like their tablet.
Yeah. I would do that first before I would ever filthy my hands with a dirty Apple iOS product.
Well, here's the root of it, man. I already have the iPad Pro. I've had it, and I needed flooring, man. So if I'm going to spend $300-400 on a computer, or do I want to spend $300 or $400 on some nice vinyl laminate floors? I got the floors, and they look kick ass.
And that was probably a better investment.
Yeah, overall, man. I mean, well,
because I'm waiting for Apple's stock to drop like Facebook.
Oh Jesus, man! Did that drop? What did he lost like 15 billion?
Him personally?
Yes, yes.
The company was devalued something like 115 billion. That's 115.
Yeah, man. Followed by eight zeros.
Yeah, that's a lot of money, and he lost 15 billion. So now he's only worth probably like 20 billion.
I was going to say, man, can you imagine? So you wake up and you check your stocks, right? And Siri or Google or whoever says, "Hey, dude, you just lost 15 billion in your personal market cap," and you're like, "Yeah, fuck it, I got another 20."
You know, if I was him, I would cash all that stuff out and I'd put it in CDs at this point. Because here's we're talking about the future. I don't think Facebook makes it.
No, I don't think social media in any of its current forms will make it.
I think Facebook, I mean, they've lost so many top talent, scandals. One of two things happens. Mark Zuckerberg is not CEO in 3 years, or Facebook is gone in 5.
Yeah. Well, think about this, man. Think about chat rooms, right? Yeah. And how chat rooms used to be centralized like social media.
Yeah.
And then the internet kind of woke up and said, well, why do I got to be a member of a chat room to talk to people? Why can't I just talk to people? And we got instant messaging, which is essentially decentralized peer-to-peer communication, right?
Right.
And so for some time now, I've been wondering if that's the next evolution of let's call it social media. Is why do I have to talk to you through this third party? Why do I need them? Well, technically I don't. There's no technical reason that I need them. I should be able to talk directly to you when I want to.
Yeah.
And do that in a decentralized peer-to-peer fashion.
The technology exists.
Mm-hmm. And it ain't blockchain.
No, it's not blockchain.
Speaking of direct messaging, man, I hopped on the Pirate Party IRC to try and get some answers.
Oh yeah.
You know how long it's been since I logged into an IRC server? It's been a while.
A couple days ago.
Wow, man. Wow. So anyway, I have to send an email to the national party leaders to find out how to start a party in North Carolina. That's where I'm at.
Did you jump on the IRC channel though?
Oh yeah. I talked to some people.
Oh, there were some people on there?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, man. I talked to I don't know his real name. It doesn't matter. But he was around when it first started in the US. So he had like all the old t-shirt designs, all the sticker designs. Because of course I was talking to him and somebody else asked this and I thought it was a great point. Why aren't we as a party promoting ourselves and giving out t-shirts, or selling t-shirts, giving out stickers, selling stickers. I mean, not only do you need revenue of some kind so that you can do things as a party, but it wouldn't hurt to have because the logo is actually pretty cool. Have it out there a little bit. So we'll see.
Not a bad. I mean, why not?
Well, because it's so easy now to do stuff like on print on demand and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you have to carry a warehouse full of inventory that's just going to rot.
No, you just need it. You just need the thing, and you can have it all shipped to you.
That's right. Print on demand.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Mediums, large,
Mhm.
extra large.
Yeah.
For Brandon, 10 extra large.
Oh, is that guy excited that I might be coming up there soon?
He hasn't said much. I think his feelings are still hurt from last Sunday.
Oh, why is his feelings hurt, man?
I don't know. He's a sensitive guy.
Well, I mean, who said something that hurt his feelings?
I don't know. You could have said like the weather sucks and start crying because he's a weather guy.
Oh,
Weather predictions were bad or something. I don't know.
I thought you were going to say he's a professional victim.
Well, I mean that goes without saying.
Oh man, Brandon. I'll give you a big hug, dude. You
Death
need one.
Star.
You need one. Anyway, man. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. The iPad thing. I'll see how it goes. I'm expecting some difficulties, but for science.
Well, worst case scenario, you find out that it doesn't work. It's not like you don't have other computers around.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Exactly.
So
Yeah, in social media, that'll be interesting to see, man. I wonder how long it's going to take because I don't think it can last this way. I don't think it can last this way.
because what we're finding right now is if you don't agree with some people on there, then you get shadow banned, you get silenced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. That's not tenable, man.
No, not at all.
Well, I mean, it's interesting to watch the evolution of corporate structure. I mean, look at Papa John. Have you read about that story?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Which, for the record, ever since when I was in undergrad in Ohio, that's when Papa John first started to become popular, at least in that area. And I've never liked the pizza. I've always thought it tasted like dog shit.
Yeah, it's not good pizza.
No.
Neither is Domino's. I mean,
No.
for me, where I grew up, even though it's a small chain, but it's called Lido's. Um, it's pie crust on a pizza, and the sauce is great. Love it. My cousin owns one. Seems to do pretty well for himself owning uh, that that particular franchise. Other than that, I want some mom and pop like New York style pizza
Yep.
because Chicago style pizza sucks.
Yeah, man. It's no.
Horrible.
Well, I'll tell you where it's at, man. And I was thankfully there's a mom and pop restaurant right down the street here that has them because you can't really find them in California, man. Stromboli.
Oh,
And it's actually pretty decent here. Not too bad.
Nice.
Not too bad.
I would imagine you don't get really anything in California that's not something, vegan at this point.
Oh, hey, speaking of vegan, Marsha comes up to me the other day, and you haven't seen her in a while, man, but dude, she's fit. She's been working out hard, winning all kinds of challenges, winning bets and stuff, man.
Nice.
She's fucking fit now. She comes up to me the other day and she said, "Hey, have you ever thought about going vegan?" And I said, "Well, actually, yeah, I've thought about it quite a bit. Not for moral reasons, just because I tend to feel better on a high plant-based diet, and I'm also kind of a miser, and it's cheaper overall, right? Particularly here because we've already started our garden in the backyard, man. I'm already growing.
Oh, dude. So by the way, I've sent you, a flock of chickens and for the first time, so you'll have a big cock there.
It'll be nice for once.
You'll get your eggs.
I bought this little. I'm really into Ryobi tools because the batteries are interchangeable between a lot of them.
Yeah.
I bought a Ryobi tiller, like a handheld tiller. So I did like a little 8x8 plot in the back of the house. We put some kale in, dude. It's already sprouted. That shit grows so fast.
That's awesome.
So in the garden here at the house, we're gonna do like the fast growing, we eat a lot type stuff. So like kale, lettuce, stuff like that, right? Squashes and stuff. Across the field on our other plot, which is much bigger, we're going to do a huge garden that has the slow growing, long time to harvest stuff: corn, carrots, onions, potatoes. So anyway, my point is, I told her, I'm like, well, think about this too, man. You know, if you want to switch to a predominantly plant based diet or vegan, you don't have to be vegan in the truest sense where like you don't eat any food that has yellow number 5 in it because it's an animal byproduct. You don't have to go that strict.
Right.
You're just because you're not doing it for the moral reasons. But if you switch to something like that and you grow a predominant amount of the food yourself, it's inherently already better because you're controlling that food source, but it's free. I mean, dude, a pack of seeds is like 50 cents. And I'm not
Yeah.
buying Monsanto seeds because I'm not buying in that scale. You know what I mean?
Right. But still, you're right. You know, I wouldn't say that I eat a ton of meat anymore, but this is kind of like what I was talking about before, when we were going down this path of, look, I want to go figure out how to hunt. If I
Mhm.
can go get like 1 or 2 deer and then barter it up, I mean, that's enough meat for the entire year.
Sure it is, man. You get like one of those horizontal lay down freezers.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's
We've
enough
talked about it.
for the entire year. I mean, I don't want to eat just venison. So, I mean, if I got 2 deer, maybe I would trade it off with someone for some other stuff at the place who would be butchering it up for me. But, you know, I want to be as self-sustaining as I possibly can.
Yeah. Well, it's self-sustaining, controlling the economics. I have better things to spend money on than processed food, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. And see the thing too, and I know you've experienced this too. The more you don't eat that stuff, the harder it is to go back and eat it. Like I feel like shit. You know what I mean? Sadly enough, it's getting that way with beer too.
Because you continue to drink poor beer.
No, I don't drink it for a long time, and then I go have it, and I'm like, why am I doing this, man? It tastes good, but it just doesn't feel good anymore. Anyway,
Well, that's
maybe
why I
plants
pretty
are
much,
the better way there too.
yeah, that's basically why I just stick with whiskey.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I'm not drinking to get drunk.
No.
I don't want to. That's just not, one, it's not healthy.
Mm-mm.
Two, you don't feel good afterwards, so why do it? So literally, I just and and a lot of days during the week, I may have a glass of wine with dinner, and that's about it.
Yeah, totally. See, and I think that's where it's at, is like wine, whiskey, but it's just like I had a beer at lunch yesterday, right?
Dude, beer is basically you're drinking bread.
Yes, exactly. That's what I mean. And I had this beer with lunch, and I had a salad with lunch, for lunch with some chicken on it. And I'm like, dude, this just doesn't. It ain't doing it anymore, man. Just like World of Warcraft, it ain't doing it anymore. Time to move on.
Yep. That's why I've been so much more into my whiskeys. Dude, I had this bourbon the other day. I got it. So Costco, I feel like they mismarked it. All right. Because it was like $60 rather than the normal $90.
Mm-hmm.
Jefferson's Ocean. Okay, so they send those barrels out to sea. So that's getting the sloshing and stuff like that. Oh, it is.
What a great gimmick, dude. That's awesome.
So a lot of these cats have been figuring out like why the bourbon tastes different back during the time when they were shipping it down the Mississippi and stuff like that. It actually changes the molecular structure.
I can imagine it. Yeah, because it's being oscillated. Sure.
Yep. So a lot of these cats are doing that, and so Jefferson's they have a whole bunch of different kinds of the stuff for their small batch, but the one for the ocean, they're sending it out to the ocean. I'm like, and you know what? It tastes a hell of a lot better than their regular one.
That'd be interesting to measure the molecular difference, man. But it makes sense
Well,
to me
well,
because
someone
even
did.
what's
There's
that?
a study how I figured this out. There's a study out there about it.
I would imagine there was,
And
man.
I'm like, that's interesting, because the way in which the sea, the salt affects the wood,
Sure.
just the water around it affecting the wood
Yeah.
on the inside and the out. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff. I'll see if I can find that article and I'll shoot it over to you.
Yeah, I find that massively interesting. It makes sense to me just thinking about it out of hand.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still, so of course, I went fishing last weekend, and the waves were like 4 to 7 feet on the big lake. Didn't do too well with me. Me and Bryce, we were throwing up over to the side of it, but it didn't stop me from still being the 2-time champion. Yet to not bring the fish in, and I won another bottle of Angel Envy Rye.
There you go, man.
Which is another $100 bottle. And this little tiny man that works for me, he's tiny, and all he does like all the time is like, I just want to beat you at something. It doesn't matter what it is. Cornhole. I was in his head, beat him right-handed, and I said, you know what? You're so horrible at this. I'm going to beat you left-handed, and I did. He's so bitter, so bitter. He's like, I just want to beat you at something. I'm like, Steven, count yourself, your blessings, because no one expects you to be great at everything like they do me.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I sent that tweet this week, man. If you're going to come at the 5-time, you better bring some backup and a shipping container of steroids.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll give you cardio, man.
Yeah. He's just going, he's like, I just want to beat you at something. And I'm like, yes, and you're still wanting.
Isn't it amazing how that instinct kicks in though, man? Okay, so listen, man, I'm not the thinnest of dudes. I've been working out, losing weight, but it takes time. And I've accepted it, right? So going up a hill is hard, man. I mean, I'm carrying extra weight. And so I'm going up this giant hill yesterday, and I've passed everybody behind me, and up the hill, man, near the top, I see this dude, and he's off his bike walking it. I mean, that's how steep this was. It had to have been at least a 12% gradient, which is steep. Right. And I see this dude, and I'm getting tired, man, because I've been riding for a while up and down these hills, and this is an even bigger hill, and I'm tired. This is before the hornet stung me, though. And I just told myself, look, man, I'll be fucked if I'm going to let this dude not only beat me to the top because he's walking, but I'll be doubly fucked if I'm getting off and walking because this guy already is. So I need to pass him. And if I need to take a break, I'll make sure I'm down the hill on the other side so nobody can see me, and I'll soft pedal it for a few minutes. You know what I mean? And catch my breath. It's just a compulsion. It just kicks in, man. I don't know how to explain it.
Well, that's true. So this cat's like, well, we have this rivalry going. I said, no, there's no rivalry. He's like, what do you mean? I said, I would have to lose for there to be a rivalry.
That's right. Yeah. 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 And listen, man, I was supposed to, I actually had a really long ride planned for today. And that I can't do it today after riding like that yesterday. But you know what?
Hornet sting, dude, your knee had to blow up.
Dude, it was really swollen for a while.
Dude, the amount of poison coming out of a hornet is just, and it can sting you multiple times.
Dude, this thing was going at it, man. I'm not exaggerating. It was so big, I could see the hate in its eyes, and it was angry, dude. It was getting ready to chomp me, and it was stinging me. It took me, dude. It was hard to knock it off because then I'm riding the bike, and by the way, I'm going downhill too, which is a little treacherous. Because I wasn't going slow by any stretch of the imagination. I was probably going like 35 miles an hour.
Maybe it wasn't a real hornet. Maybe someone sent in a little drone-like thing to kill you, like John McAfee. Maybe, man.
But
you should tell them your enemies have failed again.
That's right, dude. I mean, it hurt, but I kept riding. I made it home, dude. I mean, because I rode another couple miles after that.
You should probably start injecting a little bit of hornet poison into your body like every day, just so you get to build up an immune system to it.
Listen, man, let me tell you something. I lived in Northeast Ohio for 20 years. I lived in New England. In California, you have bees, but not like here, man, on the East Coast, in the Midwest. I think when I was little, I got stung once by a honeybee, but I've never really been stung or bit by anything. I've been bitten and stung more here in the month or so I've been here than my whole life. And so keep coming at me. And I felt so bad because it was such a feeble attempt to try and stop me that I didn't even like crush it. I just flicked it off me finally. But dude, it had like a grip, man. It was on. Like, I mean, I'm sure you've hit big bugs riding your motorcycle without a windshield. It kind of hurts, but it stings.
Dude, I'm fully geared. I have no idea.
Oh, you've never ridden like, okay. So I'm not, I have a helmet, sunglasses on, and Lycra, that's it. Yeah. And this thing hit me and it hurt when I hit it because it was so big. And then it started biting and stinging the shit out of me.
Yeah, I ride fully geared, full helmet, full everything.
See, I would too, man.
Yeah, I'm not. But that's just what I do. And even still, getting hit by a rock, you can still feel it a little bit. I mean,
Oh yeah.
it's like in the summertime, I just wear my outer shell, which has got all the body armor, but it's completely whatever you want to call it, ventilated.
Yeah. Yeah.
So no big deal. So you can feel it if you get I mean, and because rocks come off the back of those trucks, and oh, I get so pissed.
Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
so pissed when I get hit by a rock.
See, and that's one of the reasons I switched over to what's called an aero helmet. So my helmet doesn't have all the vents in it in the top. Because I had a big bee get stuck in my helmet one time riding in California by the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not fun, dude, because then you have to stop because you got to get your helmet off. It's stuck in there. So now I have vents. They're in the front because it's like a time trial helmet. But man, when they hit that thing, you can hear it ding, ding.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, then screw it. I hope he's somewhere thinking about his mistake. Because if I ever see him again,
even the smallest of slights must be paid back tenfold.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I'm coming after you. I'm coming back after your whole family.
Odin bless. If I find his nest, they're all done. Because I know the area. I'll go hunt him down, man. Now you're a threat. You must be dealt with.
And actually, I don't even see the real value for hornets.
Well, I mean, they're not pollinating like honeybees.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're probably killing honeybees.
I don't know. I mean, certainly big, giant Japanese ones do, but this wasn't a big. It was big, but it wasn't a big Japanese hornet. Because fuck that, dude. You know what I told Marsha was I think the thing was just jealous how fast I was going. It didn't like it.
Probably.
Yeah. Because that is the good thing of being a little overweight is you get to go faster down the hill. Gravity. Well, gravity, man, it takes over.
At some point.
Yeah. You just got to hold on. Make sure you have a good bike and you know how to handle it. Well, that's why I like to ride on the track. It really taught me how to take turns fast.
Oh, I get you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, just like a motorcycle, right? You look into the turn. You don't look straight ahead.
If you look straight ahead and try and turn, you're going to go straight ahead.
Yeah, that's called target lock. You'll get fucked.
Yeah. No matter what you do, you can lean that bike all you want. If your head's, you're not going anywhere.
Nope. Yeah, so things like that, man. But yeah, for whatever reason, dude, road cycling, you don't really have armor. You have a helmet.
I mean, you can get Kevlar.
I wouldn't want to ride a road bike.
They're like it's like Under Armour, but it's got Kevlar woven into it.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
And it's breathable.
Yeah.
I would assume since it's Under Armour or something like that.
Yeah, it's something like that. So yeah, I mean, I haven't ordered any yet, but I'm really thinking about it. Because
I'll have to check that out, man. That's interesting.
It's expensive.
Because of course, when you go down on a road bike, you're getting road rash.
Yeah. Because if you're going anything more than 5 miles an hour, yeah, it's gonna take the skin off.
Yeah, I mean, dude, even as fat as I am, I can go 5 miles an hour up a hill.
Yeah.
On a flat, I'm averaging over 20.
Yeah. All right, my friend. I gotta get rolling.
Sweet. Have a good day. I'm gonna go finish mopping up this drywall dust.
Yep. You and Dr. Ken on Thursday because I'll be in immersion. I don't think I can get out. If I can, I'll let you know.
Yeah, sure, man. I'll hit you up just to see what you're up to. But yeah, we'll do it and then we'll regroup. You good for next Sunday?
Oh yeah, no problem there.
Dude, we're almost to oh shit, we will be at 80, won't we?
Yep.
79? Yeah, sweet. You and I will be able to do 80 since Ken and I did 75.
Yep, awesome.
Sweet. All right, everybody, have a good weekend.
Peace.
Later.
Be excellent to one another.
And kill those hornets.